on the project.
Even music makes you happy, right? Remember all those wholesome fun on the TV hit The Happy Days? Well, Mrs. Cunningham from the show has been ranked as one of the best mums on the small screen. Take a look at some of her finer moments.
Oh, this is really nice of you, but I think I ought to tell you I only eat vegetables. It's against my principles to eat murdered animals.
Richard, she is still a beatnik. Now, I am not thrilled at having a beatnik in my house.
Dad, she's just a girl who dresses a little bit differently, and she reads poetry.
Yeah, I know what beatniks are. I read an article about them in the Saturday Evening Post.
Well, Howard, she seems like a nice enough girl. I mean, we can feed her.
She doesn't want our food. And I don't like someone calling my dinner a murdered animal.
She has nowhere to go. Her car broke down. She could stay at one of her friend's pads. I read that article too, Howard.
Now the actress behind Mrs. C has published her memoirs. The book is called My Days, Happy or Otherwise, and we are absolutely thrilled to be joined by Marion Ross this morning. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
You were the TV mum that everyone wanted. Can you adopt us all? We'd love it if you were our mum.
Well, and I keep very much in touch with my Happy Days family, very much. Ron Howard just had a big birthday party with his daughter Bryce Howard, and we were all there. And it's so fun that we keep in touch. It's getting to be a long time ago since we finished making our Happy Days.
And it's such an enduring show. People still love Happy Days. Why do you think it resonates still with so many viewers?
Because it was in the house, it was a family, and there's something about the 50s that people still like to hang on to. You know, they feel very comfortable in the 50s, even though it was the 80s when we were shooting that, and in the 70s and 80s. But I think it's all because of the Fonz, don't you? I think the Fonz just walked off and took us with him.
I think it's because of Mrs.
He was
C.
everybody. Quite a character,
Mrs.
wasn't
C.
he? But you've written in your book that your on-screen husband, who was played by Tom Bosley, didn't like you at first. Now, why was that?
Oh, isn't that something? He wasn't keen on me at all, so I really had to... I had to put up with that, and I had to learn to understand him. And after a few years, it took a while, it began to dissipate and to tend to go away. So ultimately, we got along just fine.
Happy Days, of course, had huge spin-offs. It was that successful and spawned so many successful spin-offs, including Laverne and Shirley, and, of course, Mork and Mindy, which catapulted Robin Williams to superstardom. What are your memories of Robin? It must still be painful to think of him as gone.
Robin Williams was so extraordinary, and the first day that he came on our set, we had him one episode on Happy Days. He startled everybody, and both I could see both Ron Howard and Henry Winkler just sort of hang on as tight as they could because they could barely keep up with him. It was extraordinary, and what a terrible loss. He should still be here with us.
Yeah, he was one of my favourites, but one of my other favourites was Cary Grant. Now, I hope you're going to tell me that he was a lovely person.
Oh, absolutely lovely person. Yeah. And I was in the movie Operation Petticoat with him.
Yeah.
And in the book, I tell about the fact that we were shooting Operation Petticoat in Florida, in Key West, Florida, and I was sitting up on top of this big pink submarine was anchored at the pier, and I'm sitting up there by myself on the conning tower, and Cary Grant came up and he sat down beside me, and I said, you know, I don't think I should go down in the submarine because I'm just this much pregnant. Oh, he said, you are. And he started to kind of cry, and it was a kind of beautiful moment between Cary Grant and me.
Oh, that's beautiful.
What a gorgeous man. You were mentioning earlier about people taken too soon. Of course, Erin Moran, who played your daughter on Happy Days.
Yes.
She passed away last year. That must have been really tough on all of you because you were such a close cast?
Well, we had... I had a party at my house. I call my house Happy Days Farm, and and it was only for us. In fact, my son wanted to come to the party. I said, no, Jim, you can't, because it's just for the Happy Days family. We had to be together and to talk about this and to get over it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, Marion. The only family that counts is TV family. Now, you mentioned before the Fonz, and a lot of people have said that there was a lot of sexual tension between Mrs. C and the Fonz. Was that deliberate, and did it ever spill over to behind the scenes?
Oh. Well, I know you always look for the hot story.
Yes,
don't
I do.
you? Yeah,
Yes, I do, Marion.
Okay. Well, Mrs. C and the Fonz had a very, daughter-son relationship, I think, because she loved him. So, and it was very much fun always to be in a scene with Henry, because he would tease me a lot, and I would say, Henry, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And don't be kissing me. No. So we had an awful lot of fun together.
What else did you have to tell him not to do?
He would kind of rumple me up just before we were shooting, and I would say, no, Henry, no, dear.
Well, it sounds like you had a lot of fun on the set of Happy Days, and Marion's memoirs, My Days, Happy or Otherwise, is out now. Marion Ross, you are a delight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Marion.
I think you'll enjoy the book. Yeah.
Oh, we will.
We will. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Mrs. C.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Mrs. C.
Now, still to come, the yummy and